Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Man, the Texas two-step is happening down there. Mets, what are you doing? And Trevor Plouffe calls the Mariners dead? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Code Talkin', $20 off your first purchase. My name is Jake Stromboli. I'm joined by Trevor Goof, Davis Wimbledon, and this is Talkin' Baseball on Monday, June 5th. Trevor, another big weekend of ball, ends with Yankees, Dodgers. We're talking about how fences are built, and you're coming live from the best team in baseball's city, St. Skeet?
Well, I thought you were talking about the Twins. I did say Twins Rays ALCS this weekend.
Who'd you say that to? And why?
I tweeted it out. I feel like I'm very delayed right now. How do I look?
You look great. You look crispy. You look like you're coming from
coming from a
Magnum
hotel
Condo
room.
Studio.
I'm coming from Vinoy. It's haunted. Did you know that?
Oh, really? It's one of those.
Yeah.
Another
So I haven't
haunted
seen any
spot.
ghosts yet.
Okay.
But I've only been here a few short hours. I'm excited to talk some ball. I got bukakied with baseball this weekend. A little bit of Major League Baseball, a lot of youth baseball. Just really saw a lot of bad pitching and bad hitting, but that's what you get for watching 7-year-olds. So I guess I'm excited to talk about some Major League players.
You ditched Clayton Kershaw to watch Teddy Plouffe. And you know what? I think you made the right move.
I did. It was a great game for the Dodgers, that first game, and then you'll tell us about the rest of them.
Let's talk a lot of baseball, Trev. Excited to get into it. I know you're running hot and cold. Red eye flight, LA to Tampa.
That's right.
That's just different.
I'm different. Here I am, just straight off the plane, straight onto this freaking show.
And you know
just
what?
For the people. I love the people.
No one will look at you today and say, wow, he looks fresh. Hello, Fresh. Make sure you guys get on this. They sent us some Hello Fresh. Me and my sweet effervescent Jessica, we got in the kitchen. We mixed it up a little bit. Looked like a rom-com movie scene. Hands in places hands are supposed to go with lovers. Hello Fresh, 40 recipes, 100 seasonal and convenience items to choose from. It's fresh. You're cooking yourself a fresh meal, and they give you all the ingredients. You don't have to go shopping. You don't have, I forgot to get the paprika. No, it's all in there. So go to HelloFresh.com/Talkin16. Why 16, Trev?
What does paprika taste like? For real, though.
16 free meals plus free shipping.
Mm.
HelloFresh.com/Talkin16. Start using America's #1 meal kit today. There's a link in the description. Summer's here. You're going to want to go outside. You don't want to go to the grocery store. Get it delivered. Cook it up.
Yes.
Spend more time outside. I know I did a little bit this weekend. Little happy hour, round of golf, Trev, 92, whatever.
Whatever. You and Nikki Cass. I really want you to describe what paprika tastes like, because if I was to describe it, I don't really have anything, so I'll just make it up. I'm gonna Google what paprika tastes like and see if you can hit it.
It's like pepper with a little Rica on it.
That's what I would say too.
Let's do some American League Baseball. Because, man, the race out west is getting very real.
Oh.
I know you're hot to try on the Yankees. I just found out
what it is.
I have no idea what paprika is.
I think it's dried red bell peppers.
That stinks.
It's not exciting.
Oh, that stinks. Hit the music, Beebs. The Houston Astros. They take 3 out of 4 from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California, next to L.A. Angels, they took the last game. Griff Canning, Luis Rengifo Before that, it is all Astros. They call up one of their kids, Ronel Blanco, his first career start. He gives them a good effort. We've got a Shohei Framber day. Astros were too much throughout. Yordan Alvarez leading the American League in RBI. How about that? Kyle Tucker with a couple multi-hit games. And Alex Bregman. Might even hear more about him later. He had a special day at the office. The Astros are going. At one point, they were 16-5 in their last 21. The boys are hot, and they are coming for those Texas Rangers. We'll talk about them in a minute. The Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians, they split 4, Trev. The Twins, they win a powerful one that first game. Are you kidding me? Issa Bibey hasn't won in 6 starts since April 26th. Royce Lewis, we've been talking about him a lot. Special performance helps them win that first game. They win the second game. Polanco, the big RBI. Duran, 8th save of the year, going 1.2. Okay, are the Twins going to roll? Not so fast, my friend. Will Brennan with a big homer, and he needed it. He had a tough couple months to get the season going. And then Triston McKenzie sticks. He's back, and he shoved. They split in your AL mid. How about that? Trevor will talk about it. He covers them. Red Sox, Rays. In the AL Beast, Rays have taken 2 out of 3 so far. They're going to finish up on Monday. We got postponed on Friday, so we played a doubleheader. Sox kid, they take the first game. Verdugo, he's been hitting. Yoshida, yep, you'll see him on some of the top lists this year. He's really working. And Justin Turner with 3 RBI. Since then, it's been Rays. Tyler Glasnow, yep, him, 5.1, 1 earned run. And then Lowe, Rayleigh, Diaz with 2 hits each on the Sunday game. Jose Siri doesn't care. A game-winning catch and a big hit in that second game. We'll see how that wraps up today. Rangers sweep the Mariners, Trev. Mariners fans want you to say those magic words. Jon Gray in a little pitcher's duel with Luis Castillo. He was just a little bit better, and so was Corey Seager. Brian Wu, MLB debut, gets knocked around a little bit. Bryce Miller, the kid, one of the B. Millers we've been excited about. He's been knocked around his past couple. And Nate Eovaldi, my goodness. Travis Jankowski, quite the catch. You might hear a little bit about that later. Oh, yeah, and meanwhile, while I'm mentioning that, Rangers put up 16 and 12 in the final 2 games. They're a wagon, Trev. And is it White Sox season? They sweep the Tigers 3-0, 2-1, 6-2. That middle game, you might have seen the highlights. Game winner goes off the umpire's face. And then, how's your burger? Why don't you eat up and I'll tell you? Jake Burger, walk-off, grand slam in the last game. White Sox, do they have momentum for the first time in a year and a half? I don't know, Trev, but that's what happened in the American League. East to West, your Rays, 42-19, the only team in baseball that has not lost 20 games. The Orioles are 37-22, 4 games back. The Yanks are 2 games back of them. Okay. Toronto, 2.5 back of the Yanks. And the Red Sox, 30-29, 11 games back of first place. The 31-29 Twins lead the Central. The Guardians and Tigers are both 3.5 back. The White Sox are 5.5 back. And the Royals, oh no. Texas Rangers are 38-20, second best record in all of baseball. Wow. Astros are 35-24. Halos are a game above 500. Mariners a game below 500. And Oakland is 27.5 games back of Texas. That's ridiculous. Trev, I've said a lot about Texas and the AL West. You're a Cron Pod guy. Astros are full-blown back. And I think we'd be talking about them more. Kind of a little AL East comparison. I think we'd be talking about the Astros a lot more if the Texas Rangers haven't been such a wagon this year.
I think the Astros love this. Like, hey, we're gonna do our thing. Texas Rangers, like, hey, sweet first 2 months.
Yeah.
Like in the start to June, try to do it the entire season like we do it. Like that's probably what they're not thinking that at all. No one on the Astros is even thinking about the Rangers, but in my mind, that's what's going on here. They're like, look, you guys do your thing, we'll do our thing. Maybe we'll see you in the playoffs. Okay. Not much to talk about this series, to be honest. I mean, the Astros dominated it. They really did. Look at the starts they got from their guys. You talked about Blanco coming up. He gives 5 1/3 with 2 earned runs. You'll take that in a debut. And then Framber, the only guy to beat Shohei this year, 2 losses for Shohei, both have been to Framber. He goes 7 shutty.
Similar athletes, by the way.
Similar athletes. I bet Framber could hit. I bet you he could hit.
He go yard.
He couldn't. No, he couldn't.
He go yard.
Christian Javier, 6 innings pitch, 1 earned run. JP France, 7 innings pitch, 1 earned run. Like what are you supposed to do with that? And they have an elite bullpen. So you get these starts. They get it, they get you into the 6th inning, 7th inning, and sometimes even into the 8th inning. And all you have to do is throw Neris, Stanek, Presley, whoever you want. There's pick your poison, basically. And then what was interesting to me this series was, like Bregman's been good. We'll hear about him later. Jordan takes Ohtani deep on like a backdoor sweeper, which is like an incredible. I'm going to say something stupid.
Okay.
It's okay. Like, do you remember when I would throw Dan Canobio backdoor sliders and he just couldn't hit them?
I do. Yeah.
And yeah, okay.
Blitz.
Check out our JM Warehouse page. Backdoor sweeper starts in the right-handed batter's box, and Jordan like sees it out of the hand, bro. Like puts in a swing on it like he was sitting on it. And even if you are sitting on that pitch, to see it start so far out from the plate, it's mind-blowing what this guy can do when he steps in the box. So he gets going. But the biggest thing is Jose Abreu, who's been nothing offensively for them this year, like had a pretty good series. Like hit some balls hard, drove in some runs. If they get this guy going as well, which like why wouldn't he get going? Like track record suggests he'll get going. I know it hasn't looked great the first couple months. If he gets going too, I mean, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna watch the Houston Astros in their 7th straight CS. I guess that's the. I do like where you started, man. Like Houston probably is, because they don't care. They got a little Jose Siri in them, but they're probably loving everyone's fascination with the new toy, the Texas Rangers. Like, oh yeah, they mash, they pitch a little bit. Get me a Rangers Astros series ASAP. Doesn't look like there's one coming up too soon. We asked Alex Bregman to go. He has gone. 11-game hit streak.
Yes.
A lot of other things are catching up. Jordan leading in RBI. Go look at Framber's numbers. I mean, it's kind of comical how he's become like a flyover pitcher that we're unamused with. I think he's 12 starts with a 2.16 ERA. The Astros wagon has full-blown left the station. And yeah, they're going to be, if you've been watching Texas, and you should believe in them, they're very good. But if you don't think the Astros are going to be a part of this 2023 storyline, you're out your mind.
Shout out Drury. He looked good. His swing looks good. Angels. Tough series, just you know how tough the Astros are. So just short memory. You got it.
Stay alive. Don't get in the Shohei trade cycle. Trev, I will ask you about this Twins guard dog series, because we've the Guardians seemingly salvage it over the weekend. It looked like the Twins could have, kind of put their throat down, or put their foot on the throat of this division. I know you hearing me say throat
like
this
that.
early in the morning. Sexual It's a sexual show. It's a sexual show.
I made love yesterday.
Sex. Oh, okay. Nope. Nope. No. Let's keep the show civil for now. Trev, you're watching this series, and you had to be locked in because you're calling the games tonight?
I am.
Okay.
No, the off day today.
Okay. This this upcoming week?
Look, I think I jinxed the series, to be honest with you.
Mm.
First game, great. Royce Lewis fucking bomb to center. I believe it was off Stefan, like ties the game. One of my favorite players in the big leagues right now, Willie Castro, walk off, sack fly. Great. Next game, the nightmare, Bailey Ober comes in, 6 innings pitch, no earned runs. Jorge Polanco, bam, 1-0. Boom. Series is like 2-0. We're gonna sweep the whole thing. And then even the next game, someone hit a homer. I don't know who it was. And Sonny Gray's on the mound. It's like 1-0. And I tweeted out, Chris Rose is in shambles, Rays Twins ALCS. And then the Twins lost the next 2 games. Logan Allen looked really good. Josh Naylor showed up for him. And they really kind of came back on, I think, late in the game. Like they got Gray late in the game. They got Joe Ryan late in the game. And I mean, an impressive comeback series, I guess, for the Guardians is one way to put it. You could say the Twins kind of didn't show up offensively, which has happened quite a bit to them as of late in the last 2 games. But they're missing a bunch of guys. I mean, Byron hasn't played. Carlos Correa hasn't played. So it's, I think even Gallo had to get taken out. Max Kepler came out. So they're kind of banged up right now. So series split, not too bad for them, although they had the momentum to go and get 3 or 4, and it just didn't happen. So I guess shout out Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, your Twins are talented, Trev. We wonder, we've done a lot. When is the offense going to fully click? And they've had injuries, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. For the Guardians, I'm just super interested what the next part of this story is, because Sticks comes back, and we're going to talk about him later. They DFA Plesac, who, he was supposed to be one of their young pitching core pitchers. Guess what? Like they got other guys, right? Logan Allen is up and shoving for them. Bybee has been throwing it. That their rotation right now, Bieber, Bybee, that's fun. Savali, Logan Allen, and now it Sticks back, and a reminder how good he was last year. If they can hit a little bit, which, I mentioned Will Brennan and how tough his start to the season had been, and now he's starting to go, and Jimenez and Naylor have had a few games. They're if this offense can put something together, you're going to get the effort from the starting rotation that I do feel like we're going to wake up one day and Cleveland has a nice little 8-2 stretch, and they're competing for the AL Central again. It's just, I don't know when that is. They're about to play Boston, Houston, and San Diego. Again, this year's schedule, there's no easy stretches. But yeah, I guess, and maybe it's just because you're calling a Twins ALCS, but I was happy that the Guard Dogs showed a little bit of fight.
No, I agree. Offensively, they've been so bad this year, and they were able to score runs last year. So you're expecting something to come from them, a run like you're talking about, getting guys hot, someone other than freaking Jose Ramirez, because they do have the pitching to do it. Their bullpen's really good. They have the starters. I loved Duran and Clase in the back ends of these games, just 2 absolute beasts. So that was fun to see. Chris Rose thinks they're still going to look to trade Bieber, even though they'd be in contention. And I said, I can't see them doing that. But he mentioned Sticks coming back as a reason they could, and this is kind of how they operate. So it'll be interesting. I just can't imagine, because he has a year of control left as well after this. You'd go out and trade him if you're in the running for the Central, which, look, the Twins have not shown that they're going to run away with this thing at all. I love this team. I think they can do it, but they haven't shown it yet, especially with all these injuries. That's a storyline, I guess, to watch out for.
Here's what I'll say. Every time you do a trade, it's what are you getting back? If it's something that can help now still, and maybe for the next 3 years instead of 1.5, I'm interested. And again, I'm saying, they've got pitching, which other teams don't ever.
We talked about the Cardinals. Cardinals and them with the outfielders that they have, they need starting pitching.
If you can get 1 or 2 bodies to spike this, yeah, right. We'll talk about them.
Jesus.
let's get there. Chris Rose living in fear. I like that.
Always.
Rays Sox, Trev. Sox actually have a nice comeback rally in that first game.
Yeah, JT.
6 in the 6th. Justin Turner in that Sox uni. Tampa blows one, and they were on a little bit of like a cold. They lost 4 times in 6 games, which again, with how good they've been this year, that hasn't happened. They don't care. Tie-breaking 2-run double in the 9th by Harold Ramirez. Siri diving catch for the final out. Glass now is back. Yandy is killing it. He might be your AL starter at first base. And by the way, all JM team coming this week, so get ready for that. And yeah, they finished the series today. Rays club record 30 straight successful stolen base attempts. You forget just how much they punish you everywhere. Yeah.
You kind of hit it all on the head right there. I mean,
felt locked in.
Great comeback victory for the Sox game 1, and then the Rays just kind of took over the series after that. One thing I did notice is these Rays, you talk about, just say it again because people like love to hate you talk about Jose Siri.
He doesn't care.
They are they sponsored by like Highlighter? Like,
yes,
have you seen their
so.
belts?
Yeah.
Harold Ramirez, I believe, has like a Highlighter light blue belt. Yandy has the Highlighter pink belt. Jose Siri has the Highlighter yellow belt. What are we doing? Yeah. Like, it looks like your necklace.
Yeah.
Out on the field, there's just colors and they're running all over the place. And, Margot's crashing into the wall like he didn't know it was there. And they just play a different brand of baseball. And I guess I was on another hype video for the Rays. I'm a hype video king. You and I kind of get in a lot of different hype videos.
The Rays are in on us, and I understand why. After the undefeated April and how we treat them, it makes sense. Hey, Sox, go win today. Bayo McClanahan, the two best young pitchers in the AL, if you talk to Sox fans. Split a set with the Rays and your heroes, or you lose 3 out of 4 and you're back to 500 and you're half sad. I'm interested to see. Yankees and Sox haven't played yet this year, and they've got 6 coming up in the next 2 weeks. So I'm excited to watch the Sox with my own 2 eyes. Man,
Beavers, can you look up? Did we get any news on Sale?
And Yoshida, it popped up last night because the Sunday Night Baseball broadcast was giving love to your boy Will Smith, that he had the highest slugging of hitters that have more walks than strikeouts. So basically, guys with the best plate discipline, who's hitting the ball the hardest as well, because those are contradicting, thought processes for a hitter. Will Smith, number 1, ya boy. And I think Yoshida was number 2, which... And just think how this is his first year in Major League Baseball.
He's doing great, man. He started off slow and was able to figure it out, and that's very impressive to me. Very impressive.
Looking for more concrete updates, but went on the IL, shoulder inflammation, and he said he doesn't believe it will require surgery, but it is unlikely he will be back when first eligible.
Me either, to be fair. Rangers sweep the Mariners, Trevor Plouffe, and
Can I start?
Please.
I will not declare the Mariners dead.
Why?
I won't. My entire timeline, my Twitter timeline, please, Trev, please declare said. Now I have the upper hand. You guys had me. I escaped. I have you. How are you feeling? How does it feel? Hit the ball.
You have the city of Seattle by the balls.
We'll be in Seattle in a month.
I know,
Jess
dude.
and Olivia are going to be there together, and
there's rumors. They're texting, which I don't necessarily love. Just going to wake up one day and Jess is living in LA now. Trev, couple things here. Yeah, I understand where you're at now, and it makes more sense. Because, now you have the power after Mariners fans made you their reek, so the situation's kind of flopped. Dude, they're hosting the All-Star game. This is supposed to be the start of a young team's run, and it's bad, man. I told you. I watched the Yankees play them, and I said, Mariners fans, let me know. They just looked like flat and kind of bleh. And then to have this happen the following series, Texas is good, but, like, if you're the Mariners, it's June. Like, let's go. You just went under 500 again. And I don't know. We saw a stat pop up because, the prince who's promised, Anthony Volpe for the Yankees, he was near the league leaders in strikeouts. He was surrounded by Mariners.
Oh, yeah.
Surrounded by Mariners. That, I don't know, in this season where the shift's gone and every MLB commercial is how good is that the shift's gone. We saved baseball. Thanks, guys. Eugenio, Kelnick, Julio, Teoscar. Those four, and by the way, Julio's on his way up. Kelnick has been a breath of fresh air, so strikeouts aren't everything. But when you're striking out that much, it still hurts the soul a little bit. And you wonder how much of that is tied in.
Little scare. Okay, let's just go in a little bit because I do have the power right now.
Yes.
Bryce Miller, we love you. Last two starts have been really, really bad for them. Kelnick has come down to earth big time. Over the last 28 days, it was like a 700 OPS. That was after, the April where I think he was one dotting it, or at least in the nines. It ain't good there right now. And on the flip side, the Rangers came to play. Corey Seager's a dog. Jon Gray's a dog. 2-0 in the first game, and then they just unleash the offense. And it's everybody. It's not just one or two people, bro. It's up and down the lineup. Check out Nate Lowe with Chris Rose on the Chris Rose rotation, please. But Jonah Heim, dog. Nate Lowe, dog. Simeon, dog. Corey Seager, dog. I love the uniforms. The City Connect uniforms have grown on me. Like, I don't know, man. I was wrong about the Rangers preseason. And, I'm okay with I love that. I love that they proved me wrong. And all I said was, I don't know if this mixture of guys is going to come together and form something, because you got to have that camaraderie. But you know what breeds camaraderie?
Dubs.
Winning. Yeah. You start winning ball games together, you become pretty tight pretty quick. And these guys look like they are ready for anybody. More on Nathan Eovaldi later. But they are getting it from everywhere, dude. And it's very impressive. Like, what they're doing is very, very impressive.
Rangers are about to host the Cardinals. That could be a bloodbath. And then Rangers-Rays this weekend. Hello. That's some high-level baseball. Oh, Trev, you're my OPS plus guy.
Oh, my gosh.
Up and down the Rangers lineup. I mean, they could give you a full lineup. Easily above 100. Like above 110. I think like 120. They are a problem. And man, those Houston games, they're going to be fun. And Trev, we've been on ourselves a little bit. Like, why didn't we believe in Texas more? We liked that they made moves. Blah, blah. 68 and 94 last year.
It's a massive turnaround, what they've done so far. And look, will their offense come down to earth? I don't know. To me, when you have this many guys going, it's kind of looks like it's sustainable. Even if a few of them, you just hope it doesn't all go at the same time. You hope guys don't all go into a slump at the same time, which when you have, I think, 8 guys with an OPS plus over 100, it's difficult for that to happen. So they're going to cruise. The pitching's been great. They'll be looking for bullpen help, but who isn't looking for bullpen help? They're fun, man. They're fun. Marcus Semien.
Yeah.
I would have never have guessed it, man. When he was with the White Sox, I would have never have guessed it, that he was going to turn into what he's turned into. And then he goes to Oakland. They don't even offer him a contract. Doesn't he sign?
God.
Where did he sign the
1 year with the
deal?
Blue Jays?
With the Blue Jays.
1 year with the Blue Jays. Raked.
Holy shnikes, man.
Yeah. Hey, and a
Good
little
on them going and getting Seager too.
Hey.
What a move.
We should probably give the Texas Rangers owner a little shout out, because I was just going to give your boy Chris Young a shout out. Remember, they brought in a ball player to call the shots.
Well, he's the nerdiest ball player of all time. So like it works, right? This isn't Billy
Trev.
Butler. This isn't Billy Butler calling the shots.
And before we get
I knew. Thank you. Somebody laughed at that. Remembering Billy Butler. My
backhanded at your boy
gosh.
Billy Butler. Trev, before we get into the final AL series, Tigers, White Sox, Bruce Bochy, maybe managing matters too. 2,041 wins, passes Walter Alston, 10th on the career list.
I will give Bruce Bochy some love. I like him.
White Sox, Tigers, Trev. We've got a
Before you
dramatic.
do that, you did call him a nerd. I had to look up numbers. 2 for 15 off Chris Young, Trev.
Oh,
two-
he's nasty.
The 2 were extra base hits, though. Double, triple.
I broke up a perfect game off him, so
Ooh.
that's my bad. But dude, yeah, he's too tall. You know I don't like tall guys.
That's
Too
the
tall.
fucking. Yeah, he is.
Fucking tall.
We have a Jake Berger walk-off grand slam. We have an ump in the 10th inning getting pegged by the baseball to score the winning run. All 3 runs in that game were scored on wild pitches. This is some AL Central ball for you, Trev. I don't know. Hey, Liam Hendricks is out there, and he's fist-pumping and screaming. I love that. I saw some shots from the crowd in Chicago, and they looked like they were having fun, and that's what baseball's supposed to be. So, am I buying White Sox? Not yet, but God, I'd love it.
I would love it as well. Eloy's got a 13-game hitting streak. Tim Anderson's been going as of late. Look, we've always said they have the pieces to do it. They just haven't done it. So I am on it like the Titanic. I'm the violinist on the Titanic. I'm just with the ship. Can you imagine being a guy just like playing the violin as your ship's going down? People used to do what they were told back in the day.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
No.
We know.
This guy they were just going to die with this ship. Doing what they love, I guess that's the message in that scene.
I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't think so. Guess if you're gonna,
She could have fit Jack on the door.
if you're
There
gonna
was
die
room.
and you like playing the violin, maybe it's just a lie too. Maybe they weren't. Maybe the 6 people that survived the Titanic were pretty fucking loopy from being frozen. I was hearing music.
Was there only 6 people to survive? How many did survive?
I don't know.
Check it, Beebs.
You think I'll ever rewatch it? I doubt that, right? For me to put on the Titanic for 3+ hours, that's not happening.
Okay, so over 2,200 total passengers.
Okay.
Any final guesses on survival number? 706.
You said 700?
700 of the 2,200 survived.
700
Oh, I was about to
survived?
add. I was about to.
Says history.com.
What?
I mean, that still means 1,500 people died.
Quick math is
Numbers
1 out
guy
of
over
3.
here. Okay, Chris Young.
I do like Leonardo DiCaprio, so like
I do like
that
Leo.
would be one reason I would go back and watch it.
Some nip.
And doesn't he steal like the rich guy's girl? I'm always into that.
Yeah.
Like,
Watch out.
Watch it.
I don't know why I'm into that. But
I think I used up my rewatches.
That's your pool boy coming out.
yeah, I think it is, man. I'm from Castake. What's up?
What up? National League is brought to you by the Farmers Dog. Again, me and Noodle have been eating up some Farmer's Dog recently. I'm the farmer. He's my dog. Whether you have a puppy, an older dog, middle-aged, maybe they're going through it. Maybe they're teenage. Maybe they're kind of emo right now. Keep your dog healthy and get a few more quality years out of them with the Farmer's Dog. They've got healthy, veterinarian improved food ingredients, human grade food. That's my favorite to eat. And, it can help them have a better coat, better breathing, digestion, better poops. That's something I'm passionate about. Right now is the right time, because guess what? It's always the right time to start investing in your pup's health. Get 50% off your first box of thefarmersdog.com/JohnBoy. There's a link in the description. Try it out. Your dog might love it. I know Noodle does. Thank you, Farmer's Dog. Trev, you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, Farmer's Dog. Let me give you a shout out. My mom hit me up. She's like, "What's your promo code for Farmer's Dog?" I said, "Why?" and she has some ugly dog. It's like a
Okay.
English bulldog, I think is what it is. Big old fat English bulldog.
Mm.
And she's been using the farmer's dog even before that we've had this run with them, and the dog loves it, and it's lost like 6 pounds. Wow. He's getting into summer shape.
Wow.
Oliver, shout out Oliver for, cutting the bod up a little bit. Good for you. Farmer's dog made that happen, so thanks.
I respect that. Good for Ollie. I was cutting. I had a tough eating week. Yankees West Coast trip, late night eating.
I did too. What was up with that?
That's all right.
A lot of pasta.
No, what it was kind of like, it felt like the first week of summer. So you like did your summer work to get the bod going. So then you're enjoying summer, and then you got to bounce back a little bit. So let's bounce back in the National League. Speaking of bouncing back, a team that needed a little Vamo juice, the Milwaukee Brewers. They have currently taken 3 of 3 from the Cincinnati Reds, who we've been swooning over, even though the Brewers have been in top of that Central. And man, they get the first one in the 11th, Victor Caratini. One of my favorite names to say. Victor Caratini, go ahead run in the 11th. Burns got ejected in this game. He'd been 0-2 in his prior 3 starts. They get the win, and then they keep it rolling. Blake Perkins, how's your first career homer? It's a grand slam. Milwaukee scores 10 runs in the first 4 innings. Reds fought back, but the Brewers held on. And then Hauser, he does his job. 7 sparkling innings. How about that? That's nice. Andrew Monasterio. Ooh, a good paisan. He hits his first homer. Brewers are just calling up more kids. The first freshman class, they weren't figuring it out. Let's bring up more. Why not us? Good recruiting class for the Brewers this year. They're playing one more game today as they go for the 4-game sweep. Matt McClain still hitting for your Reds. We got a bunch of wraparound series this week. Cubs and the Padres. Cubs, they have currently taken 2 out of the 3 games. If you get a good pitching performance, you're going to get a win so far. Jameson Taillon, they've been waiting for this for the Cubbies. 5.2, 1 earned run. Dansby has a big game. Stroman, he continues to shove. Give Soto a little shuffle while he's out there. Baseball is fun. Reminder, Yu Darvish, the Padres, the games they won, 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 2 hits. So there's your key. Tatis has a 2 ding-dong day. Miguel Amaya for the Cubs, 3 for 3. Jan Combs, sure. How are your catchers? They wrap up that series today. Happy for Jameson Taillon. Good guy. Met us in the parking lot at spring training once. Braves take 2 out of 3 from my Snakes. And in dramatic fashion, the rubber match. Peter Moylan on the call. Jake Storielli watching from his couch. And Trev's guy, Eddie Rosario. How's your A swing? Gets Miguel Castro for the big grand slam home run to go from down 1 to up 3 to save the series. High-level baseball out west. Charlie Morton, Merrill Kelly, your boy Strido, Ronald Acuna is breaking baseball savant and basically everything he does. Braves, Eddie Rosario, big swing. The Pittsburgh Pirates want us to stop talking about the damn Cardinals because they just haven't done it yet. And the Pirates sweep them. Hello. Jordan Montgomery for the Cardinals. He hasn't won a ball game since April 8th. Not necessarily his fault. Key Brian Hayes with the big go-ahead homer in the first game. We love that for Pittsburgh. Put May in your rear view, Pirates. Why not? Rich Hill, happy 43rd birthday. He led on the first runner in the first 4 innings, and he stranded them each time. He does not care. Pirates baseball, baby. They get back to their winning ways as they sweep the Cardinals. Johan Ramirez giving them some late inning performances. keep Ryan hitting again. 9 for 16. You might hear him on Fuego. And Trev wrapping up in beautiful Pennsylvania. The Phillies, they get a series win. It was actually in Washington. After dropping the first game and having the same record as the Nationals, they win 2. They get 2 Schwarbombs in the final game. Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto with the big homer in that second game. They win the series. And that's what happened in the National League.
Good for you, Poppy.
Big National League, huh? Trevor, in the National League, your standings as they are today. The Braves are 35 and 24 atop the East. The Marlins are back in second because, Mets. Talk about them in the IL. Phillies, yikes, 27 and 32. That's the same as the Guardians. Nationals, 2 games behind them. The Milwaukee Brewers are a half game up on the Pittsburgh Pirates, 32 and 27. Good for you, Pirates. Cubs, 26 and 32. My goodness, that's a win below the Phillies. The Reds are a half game back of them, and the Cardinals, your 3rd worst record in baseball, people. I'm sorry. I feel like I let the people down with another Cardinals sweep. Diamondbacks and Dodgers remain tied atop the West. Giants drop below 500, 27 and 32. Padres, Guardians, Phillies all have the same record. My goodness. Rockies are 2 games back from there. Trevor, I know you're on that cron. Brewers, Reds, good for the crew to get back to some winning ways. Felt like we haven't been in on them for a bit.
I don't think we haven't been in on them. They've been leading the NL Central pretty much the whole time, except when the Pirates just got off to that banger of a start. So, they're kind of just, to me, it's very similar to what's going on in the AL Central with the Twins. They have that division right now, but really I don't know if they've really taken, a hold of it. So, this is a good series for them because the Reds, they've been playing decent baseball. They've been, they have some young guys that have come up and done some things for them. But yeah, this is a good start to the series. I guess they can go for a 4-game sweep. That'd be nuts. Corbin Burns got ejected. Did you see that? That was fun. Good start by him, and Weimer did his thing, and even Yelly got in on the action 2 for 4 in the first game. They took it to my guy Lively a little bit. He had been pitching well in the 3rd game. He had some homers there. I'm still in on the Brew Crew. I like them. I feel like they know how to win ball games, if that makes sense. They're not going to blow you away with their offense, but they can do enough in all facets of the game to honestly to beat anybody in a series.
Maybe comfortable in a close game is the way to phrase it, Trev. You know they're going to get some bullpen efforts, and they play good defense, and they know they're rarely going to blow you out 12-0. So there's something there. They should be getting Arraez and Adames back, and this is Jakey Analytics currently, and maybe we'll get our stats or if anyone else is in on it. Know when you start getting those stats later in the year that it's like, the Angels have had the most starting pitchers this year with 15 or something like that. I feel like the Brewers, lineup-wise, have to be leading in some of those categories because we're talking Andrew Monasterio at short. John Singleton, big John Singleton, getting some run, getting some hit. Blake Perkins, there you are. I feel like there's got to be some Brewers stat that they've had the most guys in their starting lineup this season because it's just been a lot of names.
It's interesting. Should we talk a little Singleton now that we're here?
I think so. I think high and tight. I always love these stories. You go because you know him. You played against him. You played with him.
No, I just remember the story.
Right.
I'm sure I did play against him at some point when he was with the Astros, but it's his first game in the majors in 8 seasons. I believe he was.
Yes.
He got given a deal before he even played a major league game.
Yes.
And then he didn't really do anything. Then he had some I mean, I don't need. Is this a problem? What like he had some drug testing things with marijuana. They even had that like in his contract, I believe, back in the day, where like they could test him without like on their own and they tried to like discipline him, but like you can't do that because you're on the 40-man roster. So there's always like weird stuff going on between the Astros and him, and it just didn't happen. I mean, he batted a combined 171 with a 290 on base from 2014 to 2015. So he got the deal. It wasn't a massive deal. I mean, by any means, it was one of those deals that the Astros were trying to hand out to all their young guys. This one did not hit, but he kept with it. Now he's back with the Brewers, and I think that's cool. I mean, to continue on, he played in the Mexican League in 2021. He was with the Brewers in 2022, I guess, in their minor league system, and now he gets the call up. So it's cool. I like when guys have like a long lapse and stick with it. We've seen kind of a few of those. Ben Lively, we just talked about him. He had to go overseas. Michael Tonkin for the Braves, he had to go overseas, and I'm digging that. I like when guys are able to come back and make their mark.
It's one of the perks of measuring things via, StatCast and Baseball Savant and things like that, is that, okay, if you're a pitcher and you can spin it and they can measure that, they say, okay, we can work with that. If you have exit velo, like teams still drool over that. So good for Jon Singleton. Yeah, went to Mexico. He did a year and a half in Nashville, which, okay, year and a half playing ball in Nashville. I might sign up for that at this point. But to get called up, that's got to be a pretty good feeling. And hey, man, like I said with the Brewers, we're in Singleton, Monasterio, Blake Perkins territory, so they'll welcome Adames back, Urias, and yeah. By the way, they could finish off a 4-game sweep today, and they have Oakland later this week, so you could put together a real hot stretch. Which again, in that Central Division, although my Pirates, we'll get to them in a second.
I wanted to shout out Jonathan India because he's been hearing about McLean. He's been hearing about Spencer Steer. Oh, where's he going to play once Ellie De La Cruz comes up? He's like, bro, like I'm the leader on this team. What do you like? We'll figure it out. He has a nice series. He's also on Chris Rowe's rotation today.
Ooh.
So check that out. And can I even say what Jimmy said on air?
Yeah, no, Jimmy's confident in his Pirate takes.
He said that Jonathan India has turned from hot pirate to just pirate.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like it. And I disagree wholeheartedly. I'm big in on Jonathan India. I know the confidence he has. I like his fits he wears. He went to like this basketball game and he had the shirt tucked in. You don't wear the shirt tucked in unless you got some. He's got confidence.
Yeah, Jimmy's never been a big fan of the general pirate look when playing baseball with the long hair and kind of the scraggly beard. Going back to our boy John Jaso, who's probably listening right now as he's floating around in the middle of the ocean.
What is he doing right now?
Sex.
On a boat?
On a boat.
And then he's in a free dive for some lobsters and just
eat them fresh, cook them on the back of the boat. Trev, two of the more disappointing teams in the National League so far this year. The Cubs and the Padres. Yeah, I guess that was a real statement, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry about it. Cubs have currently taken 2 out of 3. Again, they will play another one today. Like I said, if you basically get a lights-out pitching outing, you won your game so far. You get the Tatis 2 homer game. Stroman, again, is like that guy's lining up to like start the All-Star game or something. I don't know. See him in Seattle.
He's pitched really well. Waka, who I didn't know was the National League Pitcher of the Month in May.
Yeah.
Waka and Eovaldi on the day.
Love that's amazing. Shorter start this time.
2 free agents, by the way. Could have been on your team.
Yeah, Dansby clips him. I kind of like the whole like Dansby versus Bogarts aspect of this.
Ooh,
Dansby was always like the little brother in that shortstop group, and he's like, I'm gonna hit a home run in your face, and you guys can't hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2-1 first game, and then the Padres finally get the bats going. They just have not been able to put anything together offensively. They win the second game 6-0 behind a great Darvish start. And then Stroman comes in and just he Soto shuffles. He's just doing his thing. He's always felt himself from the day that guy stepped on, a baseball field in the big leagues. He's been feeling himself. But right now, oh boy, you can't tell him anything. You can't tell him anything. And you know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
You put those numbers up like he's put up, do whatever you want, bro. I like it.
Happy for my guy Tyone getting a good start in. He's been getting roughed up. Yeah, the Snell Hendricks today to figure out the set. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, know who's been doing it for them recently out of the bullpen? Our guy, opening day hero a couple years ago, Julian Merriweather.
Yeah.
We'll always have a soft spot in our hearts. 'Cause why not? Ain't that baseball? Trev, one of the contenders for best baseball played this weekend. Brave Snakes, baby. And yeah, it's about 6:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Got the Blitzball Warehouse Championship game ripping on the YouTube machine. If you guys haven't checked that out, you need to. Binge through all of it. It's a great watch. And here comes your boy, Eddie Rosario. And man, he gets one. He gets one over the plate, puts an Eddie Rosario swing on it. It's out of the park, and just like that, I could be here saying, scheduled tweet, Snakes did it again, 2 out of 3. It's against the Braves. Start drinking the Kool-Aid, people. Nah, Braves get the series. Some good drama.
Did the Braves get swept by the A's? Or did they lose?
No, they won the last game.
Okay. I mean, that would have been, if you go 2-4 on a West Coast swing, it would have been a tough road trip. But to be able to go ahead and salvage and go 500, it's just a completely different flight home. It's a completely different feeling. Great starting pitching the first game with Morton and Kelly. They both go 7 innings pitched, and Kelly outduels them. 2 earned runs to 3 earned runs. Very nice. And then the second game, Strider comes in and does his thing. We're talking about Ronald Acuna Jr. He's on pace for a 30-60 season. What's up, bro? And you're right. Down to their last out in the last game, Eddie Rosario. And Peter did a great job on the call. I actually texted him and said, you're awesome, dude. And he said something stupid back to me like Peter normally would. So it was great. But yeah, really good baseball right there. And man, if you would have told me before the season, you're going to love watching the Braves play the Diamondbacks, I'm like, okay, dude. But really, like a great series. A great series of baseball. 2 teams that are legit.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, Zach Gallen's pitching in that last game. I don't know if you saw Corbin Carroll's homer, but it's the homer I've been telling you about. The flick to left center. Guys don't do that, and he does that. And even on the Braves side, you want to talk about maybe one of the guys who's going to be next in it? A.J. Smith, I think it's Shover. It's a good pitcher name if it's Shover, because that's kind of what he did as a 20-year-old in his debut. And it was a nice moment. He comes out of the game, and Snitker's talking to him, and Smith Shover, as I'm going to call him, he's kind of got that like shit-eating grin on his face, like, hey, I just had my MLB debut and it went well, and that's pretty cool. And Snitker kind of had the same smile on his face and like was busting him balls, and you're like, wow, like you guys, how many MLB debuts has Snitker seen at this point? That's got to be one of the really like the coolest perks of the job. Like saying I saw that kid when he came up, and like we've talked about, you're kind of nothing until you're something. And who knows what kind of career he goes on to, but I did enjoy that as a baseball fan.
Dude, you can walk out of the game knowing you did your job, sit in the dugout, watch the rest of the inning, maybe even sit an extra one just to soak it all in. Then you go in and get your treatment, eat some gummy bears, whatever the hell they do, those relievers. That is a good feeling. And then on the opposite end of that, Sticker has to bench Ozuna because he hits a ball 450 feet and ends up on first base.
Can I tell you what, though? Like, good, and this isn't, obviously Ozuna is disliked by a lot of people these days. This has become so prevalent, and maybe this is an old guy take, but get benched for that. Like, that's okay. That's okay. Like, if you don't run out a ball you hit to the wall because you pimped it, guess what? You should get benched for that, and you should eat it for 4 innings. Like, that's okay. So I don't know. I want more of that because, yeah, that's costing your team bases.
I'd love to see you as a manager. I don't know if you'd be like that. I don't know if you would bench someone, to be honest with you. I think it takes some real balls to bench a guy. But Snickers, I mean, that's like Bobby Cox is like his guy, right? So like he's got the old school mentality. I dig. I mean, I like it too. There are certain times where like in certain guys you can definitely do it too. There's guys that I wouldn't do it to. I'll tell you that much right now. I ain't benching Shohei Ohtani if he can hits a ball to the wall. But if it's a multiple offense, like a multiple offender, then, you know, there's room for that. I think that's what you have to keep in mind. Like, you can't just do it like first time somebody does something.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I know Yankee fans right now are chiming in. Josh Donaldson, that's a really interesting case, right? Because it's a guy with an MVP in the bag. Like, players have a ton of respect for him. He had like 3 in like 2 weeks that it's like, you know, at a certain point.
Last year?
At a certain point, then
a few times last.
Then like, as a fan base, you feel like you're getting walked on. So yeah, it's obviously it's a lot easier for me to say here, yeah, bench him, than to actually do it.
What if they were like, no?
No, I'm the
Coach,
bringer of rain. I'm gonna stay in the game, dude.
Oh, he looks good. We'll get to that later on in the show.
Pirates sweep the Cardinals. I'm happy for one team and I'm sad for the other. How about that?
Do the Cardinals have the worst record in the National League?
I think so.
I think they do.
Yes, they do.
This is nuts. Flaherty even gives him a really good start. And my guy, Ke'Bryan Hayes, smoke a little haze, people. Does his thing. 3-run shot to put them ahead in game 1. And then they kind of just they win the next 2 ball games. You know, another homer for Ke'Bryan. Connor Joe has a 2 RBI double. The Cardinals are tough right now. It's a tough watch. It's tough to wrap your head around, really. Like in that first game, you have Arenado go 3 for 5 and Goldschmidt go 3 for 4. Arenado hits the homer. You get a start by Jack, 5 1/3, 1 earned run. You're like, okay, we're going to win this game. No, you're not, because the bullpen blows it. And then next 2 games, your offense doesn't go. And that's how you get swept by the Pirates.
Tell you what, these Pittsburgh Pirates, who just had a wretched May, for lack of a better term, they were 8-18 in May after a 19-9 April. Trev, they just swept the Cardinals, 3-0 in June. And now they play the Oakland Athletics. So might as well get out to a 6-0 June. And you're basically guaranteed you're going to have a nice month of June. Happy for the Rats. And yeah, Cardinals, I am now more locked in than ever because this is their first full hiccup in a little bit. Like, you know, they had a winning May. They were getting back in the mix. You get swept, division team, your worst record in the NL. This is your first big hiccup. Are we going to start pointing the guns at each other again? Or are we going to figure it out? And I don't know. I want to vouch for this team.
I want to. I do want to.
You know.
I think we should talk more about the Pirates because I'm sick of talking about how bad the Cardinals can be. Reliever game 2. They get it all done. They bring up some young guys that, you know, come in and do their job. Yohan Ramirez, Dalton has a note in here.
Yeah.
Put up a 0 in the 8th in that third game. 1.29 ERA across 21 innings. 3 holds on the season. Like, get some starting pitching, and you hand it off to the bullpen and you hit a little bit, some timely hitting. And the Pirates are like still like, I know they came down to earth in May, but like they're still right there. And they're still like fun to watch. They have some exciting players. I don't think we can like just count them out. Like, I don't think it's like, hey man, like it's the Cardinals. They stink. I think the Cardinals still have like, a good team. They just got beat. They got beat.
Go sweep Oakland. Because like you said, Trev, winning is fun, kind of contagious. And let's get Pittsburgh on a... Like I just Googled O'Neill Cruz return, and he's eyeing quote-unquote end of summer. So I don't know. Keep the boat above sea level. Get him in the mix. If he goes nuts, I don't know.
Let's have that matter.
Why not? Why not? Cardinals, come on. Trev, if you want anything here, Phillies. Ranger Suarez has a good start, which he really needed that. And Schwarber is looking locked in. He's had the homers. Everything else was kind of missing. A big 2-homer day for him, 6 RBI. Jeez.
I will say this. I saw statistics from last season compared to this season. Win-loss record, a bunch of other like statistics about the team, the Phillies, and they're very similar. So last year they were down and out. Everyone counted them out. They lose Bryce Harper. Then they went on a run. This year they got Bryce back in a limited capacity. But the story's the same. Now, is the ending going to be the same? I don't know. 2 or 3 from the Nats. Do you run that in? And all of a sudden, do you go on? What did they win in a row last year? Like 15?
Maybe 14, because they were tied with the Mariners, I think, because Jimmy's confident.
I don't know if I see that
bet.
happening this year, but
Tough
you
to
start
pencil
stringing
that
together
in.
series wins. Yeah, but you string together series wins, get back in it. Where do they stand right now in the East? And I think they're only 4.5 out in the wild card, if I remember correctly. I was looking that up. Like a lot of these teams we're talking about, like, oh man, like the Padres are so bad, and the Mets, oh, they're 30-30. Phillies 4.5 games out of wild card spot. The Padres 4.5 games out of wild card spot. The Cubs 5 games out of a wild card spot. So like, there's so much time left. There's so much time when you have elite players like these teams do, and everyone starts clicking. Like you can be right back in it within 2 weeks. 2 weeks of good ball gets you in a playoff spot. Think about that.
Braves and Mariners both had 14 game win streaks. Dodgers 12, Astros, Yanks 11, Phillies 9.
9? I thought they won more than that.
We had them pegged for a 10 because
Gibby.
we had to get the deal with Gibby. They got it to 9. We were so excited.
Text Gibby.
Okay.
Tell him I said hi.
And I think
Gibby's
no,
the
but
best.
It wasn't right after. They had another.
Why did I think they won
15?
15? Wow,
I don't know. It was exciting for a second.
It was
there.
an
It
NL
seemed
East
like it.
team.
It's really exciting. Trev, let's do some IL because we haven't even talked. The 2 New York teams, that's what matters. The IL is brought to you by Athletic Greens. Hello. We just talked about getting healthy for the summer. We've talked
Summer bod?
We've talked dogs getting healthy. Let's talk humans getting healthy. With AG1, you got to take care of your body. It's great recovery before a workout or even after when you need a booster. It's so much more than greens powder. It's all of your key health products in one. Set yourself up for success. 75 high-quality ingredients that give you key daily nutrients and long-term gut health support. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/baseball. athleticgreens.com/baseball. There's a link in the description. You guys know Athletic Greens by now. They're everywhere. Get yourself in the game with Athletic Greens. My Yankees Trev's Dodgers in LA. The celebs are out, and they watch Clayton Kershaw drop 7 innings on the Yanks, and the Dodgers offense puts a 6 spot up on Severino in the first. That's kind of it. That's all. Luckily for the Yanks, it was Cole Day the next day. He looks really good. And Jake Bauers, 2-homer day. Judge homers, goes through the fence. He's big. And then on the final game, rubber match, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, Domingo Germán was filthy. So was Bobby Miller, Trev's guy. But the Yanks were just too much, and even Volpe gives the insurance runs at the end. 2-run homer. Yankees take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. The Blue Jays sweep the New York Metropolitans. Mets, where's your offense, man? And hey, let's give some credit where credit's due. Chris Bassett, 7.20 earned runs. You mentioned the Chris Rose rotation. Go check him out. And he was having a baby, so he had to go take care of that while that was happening. A Varsho homer in that game. Berrios continues his hot ways. 6 innings, 1 earned run. Belt and Springer. And then Vladito down the line. Mets sweep. Mets get swept, by the Blue Jays. Uh-oh. No bueno. Orioles take 2 out of 3 from the Giants. How's your orange? Orioles take the bread games. Kramer versus Webb. Your guy Gunnar Henderson, Trev. I know you were watching his swing. Cobb shuts him down in game 2. A little redemption for him against his former mates. And then Aaron Hicks. McCann. Wow. Ghosts of Christmas Past in New York. They put up some big performances for the Birds as they take 2 out of 3 from the Giants. We saw ball number 100 going to the drink. And hey, these 2 series you might not hear a lot about from me and Trev after this. The Marlins sweep Oakland, because yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Good on the Marlins. Yuri Perez, 5-inning shutout. Okay. Sandy gets knocked around a little bit again. I hate that. Yuli Gurriel is hitting for them. That's a change. Joey Wendell, 3 for 4. Oh, Joey. Athletic sweep. And then Rockies take 2 out of 3 from the Royals. I mean, Kelsey was there. They had a charity celebrity softball game with Mahomes and Paul Rudd and some real celebs. That was cool. Other than that, Brady Singers bounced back from a slow start. Zeke Tovar, learn his name along with Ryan McMahon. Couple big games from him. Rockies take 2 out of 3. That's what happened in the International League.
Excellent job, bro. You know what? Let me give you a compliment right now. I like to tell you you're dumb.
Good start.
I don't think you're dumb.
Thank you.
My boy Jay.
And my boy Jay.
we had a talk as we get into this Yankees Dodgers series. I had someone come up. We did a live event. We had like 150 people. It was a good time. Someone came up and they were like, "You have a high IQ, huh?" And I was like, I wouldn't say that. I would say I have a weird brain. But that's just kind of, it works for this line of work.
My compliment to you was,
you're not.
People think you're dumb, but
yeah.
you're not.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. I like when we get emotional on here. It's really good to connect with you.
What I meant to say was, before we go,
yeah,
is, we used to share these burns.
Yeah.
James would do one, I would do one. I hated doing them because I'm not good at them. I'd have to write them out.
Yeah.
And even then they weren't that good, except for my one Swedish fish line, which will go down in history. But you, Pop, you just crush it. I follow along with the sheet with you, and you're just like, boom, boom, boom.
It's just natural.
I'm happy for you, man.
Trev, I talked about this Yankees-Dodgers series for about a $1.15 last night. So what did you see? What questions do you have?
Well, I was supposed to go to the game on Friday. You mentioned that. My boy Matthew Matthew Staff was there to see his boy Kirsch. Kirsch kind of I think he's had some rough outings, but looked really good here. And then you're right, they just put up. I mean, you put up 6 in the first, kind of settles you down a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was the story of game 1, like you said. And then Cole does his thing. Was that the game when Judge went into the fence? Game 2.
Game 2. Judge goes into the fence and goes over the fence.
I respect Judge so much. I feel like I have to like start saying that more often because people get so mad. Like, show his not better than Judge. I'm like, yes, he is. And they think I'm talking crap about Judge. I'm not. I respect Judge like in every way possible. I think this guy's an incredible ball player. Like what he can do with that body, like defensively, is nuts, people. The way he can move that massive frame. I mean, this he's a legend. He's a walking legend. So just want to give a shout out there. And then, my boy Bobby Miller does his thing again. He's looked absolutely nasty. He's proved time and time again what we've always said about the Dodgers. They just bring people up and they're good. And they're good. I saw it the first time I ever laid eyes on this guy. I liked him. And he's pumping 100 with the same arm action on his slider, making guys look silly. The one he threw to Rizzo, I don't know what inning it was. He struck him out on the slider. But Rizzo, like, that's a pitch Rizzo can hit. Like, it wasn't the pitch that was so good. It's like a 92-mile-an-hour slider, which is obviously, I mean, it sounds nasty when I say it out loud, but Rizzo can hit that pitch. But the arm action and the 100-mile-an-hour four seam that backs it up makes it absolutely nasty. So, anyways, give shout out to Bobby Miller, but it doesn't matter because the Yanks come back or the Yanks win that game. It's a great series for the Yankees.
Yeah, no Judge, and he gets banged up. So that's we're waiting to hear about.
We're waiting
to hear about his toe because if he's out for a period of time, that very much changes the Yankees. And if you want to hear people start talking about his value versus Ohtani's, when he's not in the Yankees lineup, there's value missing there. Mookie has a huge day that first game. Frederick has a tough series. Domingo Germán looked incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And Bobby Miller, I guess it's the Yankees this past week. I saw Bryce Miller from your Mariners and Bobby Miller. Both got off to electric starts. Both, these guys are next. Bobby Miller. Whoo. 4 pitches. This was from Alex Fast via Eno Saris. How's your pitching? Bobby Miller, I think, is the only pitcher that has four pitches that have plus stuff, according to Eno's stuff plus
stuff
stat.
Plus. Yeah.
He is the real deal.
Eovaldi's not on that?
I don't think so. I think it's tough to have
more
like
about
4. Him. You might hear more about him. Jake Bauers, 2-homer game. The Yankees take a lot of pride in finding bargain bin guys every year. Gio Urshela's to Mike Tauchman's to Jake Bauers. They are in on him, and he's got real pop. Very real pop in the bat.
Former teammate of mine on the Durham Bulls.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
Nice smile.
Nice guy. I wanted to say one more thing about that series. Oh, JD Martinez.
Yeah.
Holy shit. He's been going off. 10 homers in his last 21 games. And then the last thing I wanted to say was I saw a stat. Shout out Talking Yanks social.
Oh.
The Yankees now have a winning record against every single team in the big leagues overall. That's pretty cool. I wanted to find someone to hate about that, but I can't. That's fucking earmuffs, everyone. That's dragging your nuts.
I'll give you something you can hate on. The Mets get swept. By the Blue Jays. These teams coming in were very similar records, standing-wise. I was excited for this series. Bassett Verlander, Barrios McGill, Kikuchi Senga. People are saying because Simber and Meza visited the office, they got kind of that Story good luck splooged on them, that they win this series. Do you have anything different than that?
I'm like, when I was reading, prepping for the show, reading some of the raps and some of the quotes, I almost shed a tear.
Wow.
Because, Bassett was pitching. His wife's like going into labor. He's got the plane ready to go. He's leaving as soon as he's done starting, but he has a great start. So he goes, 7 2/3? Is that what he went? Mom's like, can you not pitch so well today, buddy? And then as he was taken out in the 8th inning, everyone pats him on the back, and John Schneider took the ball and offered the only words necessary: go be a dad. And honestly, man, if you're not a dad, you probably don't care what I'm about to say. It puts life into perspective. Because you just threw 7 2/3 against the Mets, your former team.
Yeah.
And you're shoving, and you're on top of the world, and people would, trade a lot of things to be Chris Bassett in that moment. And all Chris Bassett wants to do is not be in that moment, and he wants to just go be with his wife and see their son. I mean, it's a cool moment, man. So shout out to Bassett, who is just like a phenomenal human being. Being a dad's amazing. So Colson, I believe, is the son's name.
Okay. Brandon Belt going for Toronto. That feels significant to me. Again, they've been looking for that left-handed bat, and maybe Varsho goes too, but Belt going, and Belt has a full MLB track record, a career 123 OPS plus. Like, it is, this guy's had season where he's been a dude. He feels very significant to me. And then I just guess Kikuchi with a ton of whiffs, and I don't know if that's him or the Mets. Anything for the Mets, Trev? Because this is, again, like you said, like the Phillies. If they have that 9-game win streak, things are good, and the Mets are ahead of a team like them, and they're still the Padres have been worse. Like, there's a lot of good teams that have been more on the struggle bus than the Mets, but it's getting a little like, fellas, they're supposed to be one of the best teams in baseball.
Besides Senga, they had good starts from their starters. And I mean, Senga's been great or good enough. So I don't worry. I mean, dude, I know we're into June now. What are they? They're 30-30. Like, I think there's a lot of good baseball ahead of this team. Like, for some teams, I feel like you could make a proclamation about, man, this team's just not good this year. But I don't think this Mets team is a 500 club. Like, I just don't. And that's why we play 162. It's why the 60-game season, everyone's complaining, it's not real baseball. It's, whatever. It's true. Like, 162 is a lot different than 60. Like, there's still 102 baseball games left to play. The Mets are going to figure things out. Now, did they go offensively this series? No, but the Blue Jays are a good team. So I wouldn't I'm not in Mets stink, they're done territory at all. I believe they'll be there in the end, whether that's fighting for an NL East division title, which seems unlikely to me now, but still could happen. But more than likely, being in one of those wild card spots like we envisioned them. So I'm not too worried about the Mets. I know people like to overreact over a series, and I know they got swept at home, and that's tough. And Jolly Olive had to move.
Yeah.
So he said he didn't even watch the series. Maybe that's the problem. But I'm not the guy that's going to do that to a team that has this many good players on it.
Tommy Hunter hasn't pitched in a week, but those checks still clear, Trev. Sorry about it.
Someone was on the Rose rotation. They're like, who do you hang out with on the team? And he's like, so-and-so,
yeah.
Tommy Hunter.
No, it was Pete Alonso, Kelsey Wingert's dugout interview.
Oh my gosh. It was Pete, and those two together, I don't know if I could handle that energy. I think I might have to leave the room.
Him, Vogelbach, and Tommy Hunter.
I'm out. Too much.
That's a lot.
I have hung out with Tommy Hunter a lot. I like him, but you add Polar Bear Pete in that?
Yeah.
In Vogelbach, those are big boys.
You see that crowd in the corner of a bar, and you're like, nah.
Holy, I forgot that's who it was.
I'm good. Trev, I think the last series we're talking about in the National League, Orioles take 2 out of 3 from the Giants. Do you like the uniform mashup here? I don't know. And I'll give my highlight, which is actually for the losing team. Alex Cobb, 4 scoreless starts of 7 innings plus. Last Giant to do that was Mad Bum.
It's a good series. You mentioned Cobb in the second game. Giants win that one. I think that was the 100 splash shot with Lamont Wade late night. But Gunnar Henderson does it in the first game. Go ahead, solo shot, real nice swing in the 7th. They get a nice start from Dean Kremer, and then Tyler Wells. Not his best start, but good enough to get it. And the Baltimore offense went in that last game. Take 2 out of 3. It's nice. It's a good series for them.
Yeah, Gunnar Henderson. I'm trying to get his splits up quick because I know they were ridiculous. And again, top prospect in the game. And his numbers versus lefties. Good time for the internet to go slow. Perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna move on because it's really not loading. It is really not loading.
It's okay.
Late Night Splooshes by Trevor Plouffe. Trev, let's get to the second half of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And stand out performances. Standout performances. These guys, they play some big bets, and they panned out. And you can play some bets at the DraftKings Sportsbook. $5 bet will get you $200 in bonus bets instantly. We at our live event, some guy bet Jake Bauers 2 homers plus 5,000, and it hit. 100 to win $5K.
Damn,
not bad.
At a live event,
not bad. Yeah. After Bauers hit the first homer, he told us that, and then I was like, oh, I'll bet a second Jake Bauers homer. I put 25 on it, won like 200. So, how about that? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up with code Talkin. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code Talkin only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Gunnar Henderson, a 796 OPS versus righties. Sure, that's pretty good for a kid, a rook. 132, 444 OPS versus lefties. It's a tough sport, Trev. It's a tough sport.
It is tough.
Who's
lefty is tough.
Who's
I
your
got
standout?
a great. There's so many guys that could have been a standout. We mentioned a lot of them: Brian Hayes, Chris Bassett, Luis Arraez. I almost went with because people were writing. He's only hitting 380. There's no way he's gonna hit 400. Think about that sentence I just did. He's only hitting 380, and he goes 5 for 5. What's he hitting right now? Beavers, can you check that out for me? I went though with our guy Sticks. Triston McKenzie makes his 2023 debut, had some shoulder issues against my Twins, man. 5 innings pitched, 10 Ks, only 1 walk. I think he threw 79 pitches before they took him out. They were, obviously they're watching his pitch count this early on. Oh, Luis Arraez is hitting 392. It's June 5th, people. I mean, I know 400 is like probably not attainable because it's disgusting. He'd have to hit 410 the rest of the way or whatever it is. But if anyone can do it, it's.
And when he was over 400, he had a 12-game hitting streak and dropped.
Yeah, it's very difficult. But Sticks looked really good, man. I'm happy for them. And could this be what Cleveland needs to kind of kick it up and challenge the Twins? Could this be what the Twins need? Someone to push them.
Oh, wow.
That's how I'm spinning it.
Nice spin, Trev.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Dick Bremer said that, so I stole that from you, Dick. Thanks.
Let's get mad.
I'm just a fan of Triston McKenzie. I like his attitude. He's just like a chill, normal dude, and he has kind of rode with us since the beginning. I had him on sequence. He's a friend of the company, so it was good to see him out there.
He's a guy. The legs are crazy skinny. I was watching the highlights, and I was in a state of shock. He is so good. Reminder, his last year was like a full-blown breakout for already a good young player. If he's that guy with how Bieber's been twirling it and Logan Allen, I wonder how that changes the composition. Although those Guardians need to hit. You gotta hit. You gotta swing the bat, Pop. Trev, you're right. There's a lot of candidates. One guy I want to shout out quick because I should have mentioned him in Philly. Drew Ellis has a 2-homer day. And if he doesn't get mentioned on this episode of Talking Baseball, that just felt rude. He's not my standout. Neither is Key Bryan. Neither is Framber. Neither is Mookie. It's Jon Gray. It's Jon Gray for your Texas Rangers. Because guess what? We've talked about Sonny Gray a lot. We've talked about one of his Texas Rangers pitching teammates a lot, and you might hear about him even more in a little bit. He goes 7 innings, 2-hit ball. And by the way, I'm just tying it in. 6-1 on the year. He was 4-0 with a 1.95 in May, and the Rangers won all of his starts because they hit. So if you do that, Jon Gray, who, again, as we paint this whole picture of the Texas Rangers, as we get closer to the end of the year and how big of a player they're going to be, he was one of their original moves. Like, as they were building this current team, Jon Gray coming out of Colorado, he was kind of every team's like, ooh, I'd love to sign Jon Gray as like our third, fourth starter. Guess what? 11 starts at 2.51 on the year. And again, I might have to start getting into some articles to see how much love we need to give Mike Maddox, but we talked about Nate Dogg a lot. Jon Gray has been fantastic this year.
Jon Gray, I'm just looking up because I was like, is his slider better because he's not at Coors anymore? Actually, his slider was his best pitch at Coors. So he had a negative 18 run value in 2019, a negative 12 in 2021. And then he gets to Texas and he doesn't throw it anymore, tries to throw a sweeper. What's changed for him is his four seam. In 2019, it was a positive 7 runs. In 2021, it was a positive 15 runs, and now it is a neutral pitch. So if you get that down and your slider is still as good as it is, you're going to have the results. This Rangers team, man, they're doing it.
They're good. Just a reminder, follow-up from us. God, there were a lot of standout options, Trev.
Hit it, Beavers.
Dirt nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
In the series, David Bednar goes 3 games. Let me get my sheet up on this page because I'm looking down and right, and I don't like it. Okay. In the series, David Bednar, 3 games saved, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs. That's awesome. You have 3 saves, all in one series. Our guy Eddie Rosario not only did it with the homer, he went 6 for 13 in this series. He had 3 homers, 7 RBIs, a 1.7. Beautiful. Nick Castellanos goes 8 for 14 with 2 homers and 5 ribbies for a 1.6. For the week of May 29th through June 4th, Will Brennan, shout out. 11 for 21, 2 doubles, a homer, 4 ribbies for a 1.3. 524 average is the highest average over the past week. Luis Arraez is also hitting 500. Alex Bregman, might hear about him later. Ke'Bryan Hayes goes 9 for 20 with the 2 homers and 7 ribbies. He has the highest average over the last 3 days in Major League Baseball, which is not a great stat. Sorry, I read that one. In the last 2 weeks, Minnesota Twins prospect, now Cincinnati Red, Spencer Steer. 19 for 50, 3 doubles, a triple, 3 homers, 12 RBIs, and then Bobby Miller. He started 3 games. He's gone 2-0. He's thrown 17 innings, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, 16 Ks to 4 walks for a 1.06.77 whip. He has not allowed a homer yet. Griffin Canning, some shaky starts before this, but in his last 3 games, he's 2-0 with 19 innings pitched, 18 Ks, only 4 earned runs. That's a 1.8 ERA and a 0.84 whip, and that's nice for the Angels. If Griffin Canning starts going, elongates the rotation, and that, my friends, is who's in Fuego.
It's a little high and tight in Fuego. I love it, though. Bobby Miller. Trev, you were right.
I saw it.
You were
Sometimes
right.
I just see it.
You're all over it.
The scout was right.
Little Anthony Swarzak in you. A lot of Anthony Swarzak in you. Just though a little bit harder.
Swizzle. Trev, we've got a lot of injuries, so I'm going to try to bring them to the forefront. I'll say as many names as I can. These are guys who got placed on the IL, so they're going to be out for a little bit. Lars Nootbaar for those Cardinals, which they called up Jordan Walker, right? So the kid will get a second chance over there. Cal Quantrill for Cleveland. We mentioned their pitching depth. Nelson Cruz for the Padres. Backyard Brad, Marco Gonzalez, Joey Gallo, Trev, for your Twins. Justin Steele, Alex Wood, a lot of guys here. Altuve, Judge, Bogarts, Henderson, Rosario, banged up. Nestor Cortez is going to go to the IL. All right, we got some guys back, though. Mitch Garver, Manny Machado, Savale, Clev, Zeke Duran, Triston McKenzie, Michael Grove. God, that was the biggest placed on IL I've seen in a little bit. Didn't even mention guys like Amir Garrett. DM'd him yesterday. Not a big deal. We talk. Tyrone Taylor, sure.
You and Amir Garrett just on talking level?
Yeah, we're boys.
What do you guys talk about?
We're boys. It initially started. They're coming out. I think they have a series in New York in July. He replied to I had a simulator golf video, and he asked if I wanted the work, and I said okay.
That sounds like him. Okay.
We can talk about that. So yeah, and then we kind of keep it running there. He was in what are those machines that athletes sleep in? The
hyperbaric.
Hyperbaric. He was in one of those, and I was asking, I was like, is it worth the squeeze? And he's like, I swear by it. So, a couple athletes talking shop, if we're being honest.
Oh, my gosh.
Trev.
When Jake was working whatever the hell you were working in Denver, you sold nuts or something?
Yeah,
What
I
did you
sold
sell?
nuts. I sold nuts.
Now you're just chopping it up, talking about hyperbaric chambers with a Major League Baseball pitcher. I love it.
I gave and received nuts.
Shout out Nameless Jeff, who opened a rehab facility that has a hyperbaric chamber in it.
Shout out
him
Nameless
and Michelle
Jeff.
running it.
And the Oakland Athletics, one of the few teams that have one, but it's hidden, if I remember you saying.
No, it's not a hyperbaric chamber. They have a cryo machine.
Cryo, excuse me.
Yeah, it's like up in whatever.
BBD.
Hit it.
Awards!
Scout. You see Kelsey dress up for 90s Day?
90s Day, and she was at the Royals series, so she was. It was like Mahomes, Rudd, Sudeikis. There's a good crew there.
She's cooler than all of them. And
Yes.
happy anniversary to her and her
Yes.
fire husband,
Hot.
Casey. He's
Yes,
hot.
He's hot.
He's hot.
Really good look.
Don't spot.
Am I jealous of his hair sometimes? Yes.
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
Okay. My award is called the Simulation Award. And if you know anything about the simulation, it's happening right now. Jake and I talk about it late night, a lot, actually. It seems to us that it's pretty evident that that's what is happening right now. We are in a simulation. And if you know about computers, Jake, do you know about binary code?
Oh, I sure do.
Like the Matrix.
0000000.
Ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros. I don't even know what it means. I try to Google binary code and it's like, oh, they're just on-off switches. Zeros off and ones on. And this is how computers talk. And I'm like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
We got AI coming. It can have you seen this AI, you put an image in and it generates more of the image around it and it looks amazing. And
I'm freaked out by AI.
it can write your papers for you if you're in college.
I've fully fallen off the cliff. Although I will say, did you see ChatGPT listed the top 10 players under 30, and the list was pretty trash. So,
well, ChatGPT's out because Google is coming out with theirs. It's the simulation is happening and it's going fast. And in this simulation, there are lots and really only ones and zeros. And that brings me to my guy, Nathan Eovaldi. In his last 7 games, 52 and 2/3 innings pitched, he's allowed how many earned runs? Just take a guess. 52 and 2/3.
52 and 2/3. He's allowed 5 earned runs.
4 earned runs for a .68 ERA. April 29th, 9 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. May 6th, 8 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. May 11th, 8 2/3, 0 earned runs. The lone hiccup against Atlanta, 7 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, still a quality start. Then he goes off again against Pittsburgh, 9 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Against Detroit, 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. And then against Seattle, 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. Just a bunch of ones and zeros. This guy has been untouchable. A massive reason why the Rangers, they're better than the Yankees. The Rangers are where they're at right now. And you talk about pitches that, like, the run value is a stat that I've been going to a lot lately. Just shows, like, basically how good your pitches are in a really easy to digest stat. 4-seamer, -6 run value. Splitter, -7 run value. Cutter, -4 run value. Curveball, -1 run value. 4 pitches doing that for you. He is tough to game plan for, but he's just been able to put it all together. It used to be with Nathan, when you'd face him, you could wait him out and get into hitters counts and then get him. It ain't happening anymore. It's shoving it down your throat. Second throat reference on today's show. He doesn't stop. It's all ones and zeros. He's just another cog in the machine, baby. Simulation talk never ends. Never ends. Just like Nathan Eovaldi. And that's the Simulation Award.
Beautiful award, Trev. I will say he owes a little bit of the simulation dinner to Travis Jankowski, who robbed a homer yesterday. It was a pretty one. He was high up there. And you want to talk about good vibes, and the Texas Rangers, second best record in baseball, only behind the Rays, who had the undefeated April. You want to talk about winning and good vibes, and the boys are bopping? Jankowski, he catches it over the wall. He's in the Rangers bullpen. And the boys are having a good time, man. Like, it doesn't get better than that. It just doesn't. So, happy for Nate. Happy for Travis Jankowski getting involved. Jon Gray earlier. Trev, I'm going to give out the different ways to skin a cat award. We got lost the other day talking about total bases, because total bases walks don't count to total bases, which feels a little weird, like with how much guys walk
on gambling sites,
like for gambling websites. Excuse me. A single and a walk. I don't know. Like, anyways, Alex Bregman, 4 walks. Known guy that has a really good eye. 4 walks. That's a crazy day at the office. Anyway, so if those are four total bases in a way, right? You've walked all the way around the pond. His one at bat, he decided to not take the walk. He hit a home run, a grand slam at that. He has been a bat out of hell lately after getting off to a slow start. We kind of asked him to go, and he said okay. He is such an important part of the pulse of that team. Remember, like, when he was MLB's guy? Like, he was kind of one of the MLB's poster boys, and then the scandal happened, and he was a little tail in his leg for a little bit. Well, guess what? They won the whole damn thing last year. And, like, Breggy's back full tilt. More walks than strikeouts, Trev, which he has done 1, 2, 3 times in his career. He's on his way to make it 4 right now. He commands the zone, and when he gets that little quick stroke going, those Crawford boxes couldn't be more in play. It was time to give Breggy a little love, because he and Altuve, shocker, they all coincide with the Astros starting to play winning baseball. So Breggy's skinning the cat different ways.
I don't like that term.
I know you
just
don't.
So you know, I like the award.
I know you don't.
Last 28 days for Bregman, 337, 407, 516 for a 923. You mentioned the more walks than strikeouts. In that time, I believe it's 11-10. walks over strikeouts, which is just an incredible feat. And to be slugging as well when you do that is even more impressive. I really do think that's the mark of like, if you can do that, you're a guy. If you can have an extended period of time where you walk more than you strike out in the big leagues, especially in today's day and age, with the stuff that these guys have, it should be talked about a lot. It's like I talk about Kirilloff on the Twins. He's been doing it as of late, and he's been doing it for a couple of weeks, and I'm like so impressed by it. But there, guys like Bregman are just, he's a stud, dude. And you're right, they need him to go. He's going. And do you remember like how he just hit me up and sent me his phone number? We just started texting out of the blue one day.
Yeah.
We haven't texted in a long time. Should I just send him a text just now? Just like, what's up, bro?
So everything good?
You think he blocked my number? He just like gave me a little taste and just ran for the hills.
Ooh. No. Trev, we gotta maybe make it our own stat or something. Alex Bregman, the first 10 games really struggled. Was what 150? It's the first 10 games. It's a week and a half into the season. Since then, he's been Alex Bregman, 279, 379, and 838 OPS. And like I say he's been Alex Bregman. I think even that the slug can go up a little there, and it has recently. But it's so funny how that can. You look at his stats on the whole, and he's a 761 OPS this year, which you're like, okay, Bregman's been underachieving. You take out 10 games the first week and a half.
Ooh, I would like to do that. Okay, let's do a stat where you get to choose a 10-game period. It has to be a consecutive 10-game period. You get to take that out.
Okay.
It can't be 10 selective games where you went over. It has to be a 10-game stretch.
Period. Okay.
You could take the worst out and take the best out, but I'd rather just take the worst out.
You're like your slump 10 stats, something like that. Like you take out your biggest 10-game slump, and this is the player you've been pretty much the rest of the year.
But I think you kind of have to take out the 10 best then for it to mean.
Well, you could have
it for it to be like a real thing.
You could have like the Fuego 10 too, where you take out their 10 hottest games.
And then a mid plus where you take out both.
This was another episode of Mid Plus. Thank you guys so much. Go watch Trevor Plouffe on the Twins broadcast and all JM coming Wednesday.
Well, why didn't you pick my guy, Joey Wendell?
Joey Wendell's gonna beat your ass one day.
Oh, how could you pick that guy over my guy? He's my favorite.
You guys barely talked Orioles
Why
Giants.
don't you guys talk more Orioles-Giants today?
Because I'm exhausted.
Series.
I showed up though.
Showed up.
Gabe Kapler hot. He's got new hair now. What's up with that?